A couple of months before I turned 71, my brother Bill approached me and said that he had a surprise. He had wanted to surprise me for Christmas, but couldn't because I needed to get a passport. I was shocked. I had never needed a passport before. He informed me that he wanted to take me on a trip to Egypt and Israel. Needless to say, I was thrilled by the news and very excited the whole time I prepared for the trip. We departed for Cairo on my birthday. It was my first trip outside of the United States. I distinctly remember my first impressions of Cairo. All we heard were horns, horns, horns. Cars filled the 5 lanes of the highway and were zipping in and out. We were scared to death. Some of the highlights of Cairo was seeing artifacts of King Tutankhamun at the Egyptian Museum and watching a light show by the pyramids and Sphinx. We saw so many temples. Every place we visited had a temple. What fascinated me most was the artwork inside the tombs. The paintings depicted stories, and even though they were over 1,000 years old, the colors were still so vivid. I rode a camel on our trip to the main pyramid, the Pyramid of Cheops. It was quite an experience because they lower the back of the camel and you get onto it, and you feel that bump when they raise the camel up. We flew to Tel Aviv on a very cold, rainy, windy day. The trip to Israel was particularly important to me. I have always had a strong Christian faith, so the fact that I was walking in places where Jesus walked was truly rewarding and memorable. I was able to see the Western Wall and take the trip that Jesus took to his death, the Via Dolorosa. Since we were part of a tour group, we were constantly going. Among many other things, we got to see the foundation from Peter's home and go into the Dome of the Rock. We traveled to Rosh Hanegra and took a cable car down to a grotto. We went through rock caverns and got to see where the Mediterranean flows into it. The grotto was located near the border of Lebanon. We couldn't go in Lebanon. United Nations troops were standing on guard, but we stood at the border. The whole trip was so fantastic. We enjoyed the fellowship of the other tourists. It was such a friendly, congenial group. It made you feel right at home. My trip to Israel and Egypt marked the beginning of a series of 13 trips with my brother. Each year, he planned and invited me on a trip. We traveled to England, Scotland, Greece and the Aegean Sea, Italy and Sicily, the Orient, which took in China, Thailand, Japan, and Taiwan, the Rhineland, which included Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Holland, and then we had a Panama Canal trip, Alaska, and Hawaii. We became known as the World Travelers. It was a dream come true.